I understand if you're a Niner fan, it's a franchise that's won $1 million where they won 5 titles. 4 with Montana, 1 with Young. So they won. You got to give them. I know their level is you got to win everything. But I got to give him a little break.
Jaren Jackson Jr. just got traded. Did you see that?
No, I did. From Memphis?
Yeah.
Guess
where?
He's going to Utah for 3 future firsts, and there were some players that are going back and forth, but Walter Clayton Jr. and Vince Williams. So it's basically 3 firsts for Jaren Jackson Jr.
Memphis is going to break up the team.
No doubt. And
Morant be gone. Yeah, so they're breaking up the team. They cut. I haven't followed I know you guys with the Warriors. I haven't followed the NBA unbelievably carefully in the last month or so. I know Giannis. I don't know what the Bucks are going to do with him. I know that the Cleveland and Sacramento made the trade. Keon Ellis, I understand it, but I did not know about that with Jackson, and he's a good player. Interesting. Utah is building a halfway decent team. They've won more games than you think. They obviously got the kid they picked up a couple years ago from Arizona.
Well, yeah.
So, I mean, they are, that team is not going to be a terrible team. And what are the Warriors going to do right now? They're sort
We're
of
trying to figure it out, man.
They're in no man's land. No Butler.
They're in trouble.
They're not winning anything. They're old.
But Curry's still playing.
That's the problem. You got your best player still playing well enough that you can't give up on seasons.
Do you owe him something
yes,
to just use all your assets in the future to get him something?
Yes, you
My
do.
partner disagrees.
I mean, you owe him the responsibility to do as best as you can without forfeiting the next 10 years of your future. So you got to thread that needle.
And I think that's what they're trying to do.
And I think that's what the Warriors are. It's almost a little bit like what Pat Riley does in Miami. He never sacrifices a season. He hasn't won a championship, but he never sacrifices a season. He doesn't believe in tanking. He'll win his 44, 45, 46 games, and if the things break right, they might make a postseason run. And I think that's what they have to do with the Warriors. You just cannot do that to Kerr. You cannot do that to Curry. You got to try to be as competitive as you possibly can within reason.
Yes, sir.
You can't go out there and trade everything, to lose in the second round, to be within reason. But I understand it's a tricky spot.
Let's talk a little 49ers. What'd you think of their season this year?
Good. Shanahan's a tremendous coach. What he did in Philadelphia is a perfect example. I love him as a head coach. Great sound bites after games, too. You guys have him on? Who has that? You guys, does he do a weekly somewhere along the line?
Yeah.
He does he do a good job with it? I'm sure he's good because he's very good on the air.
Well, it's not as good as he do on this station.
I'll give you that. Okay,
you know what I'm
nice
saying?
job. Good answer. I think overall, if you're a Niner fan, you got to be relatively happy. You got to consider all the injuries. The Ayuk thing is a disaster, but you got a good GM. McCaffrey's still great. Purdy's going to he's a good quarterback. He plays hard. They got a ton of injuries. I mean, they lose Bosa, they lose Warner, they lose Lynch in the next playoff. They lose Kittle in the following playoff game. Seattle was a buzzsaw. They got stopped cold in the last game of the regular season, which meant everything. But you won a big playoff game on the road. You got to a divisional round. You won 12, 13 games?
Man.
If you're a Niner fan, I know he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet.
And I'm mad at him because he's brilliant just like you, but he's gotten in his own way twice on that. He should have one. And maybe the Chiefs aren't a dynasty.
That's fair. Now, remember, Garoppolo had Emmanuel Sanders wide open.
He don't like to hear that, but when you say it,
overthrew him. And then against Kansas City a couple years ago, if Purdy completes a third down pass that gets broken up, they win that game. So
you got to block. Yeah,
I mean, you got to give him a little break. He's lost to 3 Super Bowls to Brady and to Mahomes.
Right.
2 of the best quarterbacks.
But 2 10-point leads, Mad Dog.
I understand. But he lost 3, if you want to count the year as the offensive coordinator in Atlanta. He lost 2 Super Bowls to arguably, now I know Montana's in the mix, 2 of the top 3 quarterbacks in the history of the NFL, and he had Brock Purdy and Garoppolo. So you got to be, and Matt Ryan.
Okay.
So you got to be a little fair. I understand he's going to have to win one. I understand that. But I love him as a head coach. And if you're a Niner fan, I don't know how you don't love the idea that this year, with all the injuries, you were relatively competitive and won a playoff game on the road.
Let me throw this to you because you're on fire. But at the same time, can I make the argument that the window with the injuries may be closing?
You can make that argument.
Because how do you not? I came in here, he'd get mad at me. This is a magical season this year with the injuries and Kyle in the offense and Brock dancing in the end zone. And then Seattle, 2 games with the #1 seed and the playoff game. They couldn't get a Mad Dog a touchdown. So that's alarming. I know Kyle doesn't play, but what is that?
I understand.
What do you take away from that? And they're in our division and in the Super Bowl.
And it's a tough division. You know, 13th, they got 13-3 in the first one, and they got annihilated in game 2. The kickoff return.
That's humbling.
With Shaheed, and he's good with special teams. You know, he beat Green Bay in Lambeau Field because of special teams that one year. That was terrible. I'm still going to give him a break. Okay. To me, I understand if you're a Niner fan, it's a franchise that's won $1 million where they won 5 titles, right?
Yep.
4 Montana, 3
lost the last 3.
4 with Montana, 1 with Young. So they won. You got to give them. I know their level is you got to win everything. But I got to give him a little break.
You're my age, and you really
got great hair.
You really, so you understand how important the past was and the past players. You don't have recency bias.
No, I know, definitely not.
And so I appreciate
Brody was a
you
good
wanting to talk about.
He was a good quarterback.
Brody.
He wasn't a great quarterback. He was a good quarterback for a lot of years. You know, for 90 years old. You know, he lost 13 times in a row to the Colts.
Man.
In the same division. And then he lost the 2 championship games. He lost 1 to Dallas at Kezar. And then he lost 14-3 in Dallas. The year that Dallas lost to the it's not the year they won. Dallas beat the Dolphins that year. The 2 years he lost, Dallas lost to Baltimore. And then the following year, they beat Miami. So they could have won 2 Super Bowls if they won either of those 2 games. But back to the Niners situation. I love the coach and I love the GM. You'll win one. And Purdy's got guts.
Yeah.
Is he great? No, he's very good. He's got guts. You'll win a Super Bowl. With that combination, you'll steal one sometime in the next 6-7 years.
Giants, San Francisco. What?
I'm not as huge a Giant fan as I used to be.
What is that? Hold on. What is that? That hurts me.
I know.
Coming from you, what does that mean?
Well, you know, you got to remember from basically 1968 through 2012, I watched every game, middle of the night, direct TV, went to games, flew out here for game 3 against the Marlins, flew out here for the 3 games against the Angels in 2002, suffered when Bond struck out to Franco and lost game 4 with the 1 hit with Bobby Jones. 93, crushed game 162 with Atlanta, and the fact that we got bombed there, and Solomon Torres pitched, and of course the Braves beat the Rockies 13 straight times that year. 98 against the Cubs, 3 in the 9th, didn't come back and beat them. I'll go back to every single year. After they won a couple times, you know, after 50 years of doing this, I kind of lost a little of the passion for it, and I feel bad for the Giants right now because nobody wants their money. Judge didn't want their money.
Arráez I know he's not that, but man, Luis Arráez can play.
He can hit, yeah.
Well,
1 year, though.
We got our
He's
producers, Evan. He's these young punks. He's 30, and he's one of the nerds that they ruin baseball with their analytics, and they're trying to tell us Arráez is not a good addition.
No,
for the Giants, I think it's good.
Yeah, he's a good addition.
Arráez, you hear that?
Put your microphone down. Let's go.
This is our
baseball expert.
That's okay, Mad Dog.
I'm with you, man. He's better than Casey Schmidt.
Okay.
We can give him that. We can give him that.
The problem is the division. The Padres will be competitive. Arizona got Arenado, and the Dodgers are the Dodgers. So the division is very tricky for the Giants. They've done the best they could. You know, Bader will help them in center field. Yeah. They have a good rotation. Webb is good. They got good starting pitching. I just don't know in the long run. 84 wins is not going to win anything in the NL West.
No doubt.
That's the problem.